Melody. In a cozy room filled with the scent of old books and fresh flowers, Roland sat with young Lady Hope. He held a large golden book in his hands. "Hope," he said softly, "have I ever told you that the greatest things in the world aren't things you can buy with coins, but things you build with your heart?" Hope leaned in, clutching a pink flower, her eyes wide with wonder as Roland began the story of a man named Daniel. Once, there was a young man named Daniel who lived in a house made of glass and gold. He had everything anyone could want, including a shiny red Ferrari that roared like a lion. But when the sun went down and the house grew quiet, Daniel felt a strange emptiness inside. He had many things, but he did not have a purpose. He realized that his heart was missing a song that no amount of money could compose. One morning, Daniel decided to leave the noise of the city behind. He drove his red car into the deep, whispering woods until he found a small, quiet cabin. He traded his fancy suits for a simple apron and surrounded himself with what he loved most, clinking metal gears and the soft hum of technology. He wanted to build something that would bring the whole world together through the magic of music. Inside the cabin, Daniel worked day and night. He combined his knowledge of engineering with his love for melody. He dreamed of a magic music box called Spotify that could hold every song ever sung, making them available to everyone, everywhere, for free. He tinkered with glowing wires and silver sparks, capturing notes of joy and rhythm into a tiny, shimmering device. But as Daniel's invention began to glow brighter, a shadow fell over the woods. A giant named Crisp, who owned a massive company shaped like a silver apple, stepped through the trees. Crisp wanted to control all the music in the world and told Daniel his magic box was not allowed. "The music belongs to me," the giant boomed, trying to block Daniel's path with a wall of glass. To make his magic box work, Daniel needed the voices of the world's greatest singers. He met a famous songstress named Aria, whose voice was like liquid starlight. At first, Aria was amazed by Daniel's invention. She sang her most beautiful songs into the box, and for a moment, the world felt perfectly in tune. Daniel felt he was finally doing what he was meant to do. However, the giant Crisp whispered doubts into Aria's ear. He told her that Daniel's box would make her songs lose their value. Frightened and confused, Aria decided to take her songs back. She walked away from the cabin, leaving Daniel in a forest that had suddenly gone silent. Daniel sat on his porch, wondering if his dream was too big to achieve. Back in the cozy room, Roland paused and looked at Hope. "You see, Hope," he explained, "sometimes when you try to do something good, people get scared. But Daniel didn't give up because he wasn't doing it for money. He was doing it for love." Hope nodded, her hand resting on Roland's knee. "He had to be brave, didn't he?" she whispered. Roland smiled and turned the page. Daniel kept working, making the music box even better and kinder. Eventually, Aria realized that music wasn't meant to be hidden away. It was meant to be shared. She saw how happy the magic box made people in far-off lands. She returned to the cabin, handed her songs back to Daniel, and together they stood up to the giant. They showed the world that music belongs to everyone. The magic box, Spotify, soon filled the entire world with song. Daniel lived in his cabin, happier than he had ever been in his glass mansion. Roland closed the book and looked at Hope. "Remember," he said, "helping others and following your passion is the truest wealth." Hope hugged her flower and smiled, knowing that she, too, could create something beautiful for the world.